Tommy's just deep throating his mic. You know.
Here's my tidbit for the week. Get your mouth all around.
Here's the John. Let's fucking do this.
I'm so fucking hard right now. Ooh.
And how's everybody doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Welcome to the Shrekcast, episode 409. This week we talk Fiona, ogre or human. Caller number one.
All right.
Well, I think she's an ogre.
I'm going to open up the podcast with you saying how let's fucking do this. And then I'm going to open it up with Adam saying that he's so hard right now.
Wait, with me saying let's fucking do this?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do this. I'm so hard right now.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to open the podcast up.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, so now that I have that, welcome to the Movie Toast podcast, everybody. This is our weekly reviews episode, temporarily twice weekly reviews episode, seeing as how all news pertains to riots and coronavirus and is boring. And so we're just watching more movies. We will get back on the news soon. No promises on when, but we will. And until then, we're going to be doing reviews. So that's what we're doing right now. And I'm here joined by my three hosts, the man who will find rusty golf clubs in his shed, Adam Hart.
Hey, I got some news for you that is not riot or coronavirus.
Oh, no.
A couple of episodes, our dear beloved intern that we treat so preciously, Brad, walked out of the office, and I don't know where he is, and the toilet is clogged, and it's smelling, and I really need him to come back and clean it.
Come back, Brad. Come back to us.
Can someone please set Brad up and tell him to come back here? We'll fire him when we're not going to fire him. We just want him back.
He was so good. I mean, he would just always get elbow deep in the problem. That's what I don't understand. Why
he's kind of like Norm Macdonald's dad in Dirty Work.
He took all our best takes and threw them right out the window.
Nice. Yeah, that happened a lot.
Brad.
I'm also joined by the two other voices you're hearing. The man who will get fired off your movie set for playing a baseball game, Tommy Brozine. And then will not introduce himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
And the guy who will watch you drop your girlfriend on the concrete and split her head open.
Oh,
not call it Dennis.
Oh,
it was horrifying. God.
Oh, man.
Corey, who are you? Where are you? We all get these.
Yeah, we got ones. What's your
I didn't
scale
reveal
of
anything
horror?
about myself.
Do we get the man who had to stop eating peanut brittle or whatnot?
I'm the man with the sesame seed allergy.
And
no more fries.
I'm the Irish guy that has a white potato allergy. Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
Did you know white potato allergies pertain to latex allergies? And I actually never been able to use a condom because it makes my penis shrink all the way up and burn like shit. Now I know why.
You do know that there is other types of condoms rather than just plain latex, correct?
Right. But no, I know that. But
I know it doesn't feel as good. I know, just straight up dick feels good. But
I'll just do the sheepskin, whatever. Now that we got that off the rails,
4 times the price, but we're sure.
We
ram you. Oh, he'll ram you.
But
God.
Oh my God, should we talk about movies?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm not going to start this week. Let's start with Tommy. What did you see? Where did you see it? And
oh man,
what's it rated?
How can I go after all of that though? Like, okay, I watched the hour and a half long TV movie called Prison Break: The Final Break. It was not rated. That's what the IMDb says.
XXX
came out in 2009. For the listeners that, like myself, watched the TV series called Prison Break, came out on Fox. The Final Break was a made-for-TV movie, hour and a half long, that came out after the 4th season to explain, like, if you watched the 4th season, it ended with a 4 years later slug on the TV screen. And then they showed what I will not be spoiling, even though it came out years ago. So the final break pretty much kind of fits in the puzzle pieces of what happened during that 4-year time frame.
Okay. It sets up that last shot you saw.
Yes. Lo and behold, then I think it was a couple years ago,
2017.
they came out with a 5th season that I've only seen halfway through. So I'm looking forward to, so where I watched it, I got it on Google Play. It was a bundle. It had all the seasons, including the final break movie, for like $15. It was totally worth it.
So what you're saying is this is not the final break. They said it's the final break, and then they broke out again.
Because I
But
don't
there's
think
one more break.
Yeah, I didn't think they knew at the time that they were going to be doing a 5th season. The 5th
They
season
thought they were
kinda
done
happened.
breaking.
They thought they were done. They thought the final break was it.
Did
And
they
that
get
was
canceled, or did it run to its conclusion?
It ran to its conclusion, and they I don't think they felt like they could do any more with the show, and so that's why they ended it the way they did. I always felt there was a weird, like, I mean, that whole 4 years later, and then the way they ended the series was kind of like a quick, like, all right, we're done. Maybe they got canceled. I don't know. I never found out why they ended
Could
it the
you
way
give
they
us
did.
a quick synopsis? I don't think any of us here had watched the
Okay.
show. What was that show?
So Prison Break is, there's a man who's accused of killing the vice president's brother, and his name is Lincoln Burrows, and he's scheduled to the electric chair. We find out that his brother finds out or figures out that he was set up, that he didn't actually do it.
His brother Milton Burrows?
No, his brother's name is Michael Schofield,
Why do they have
And-
different last names?
because Michael Schofield kept his mom's last name and Lincoln
Oh.
Burrows kept their dad's last name.
Cool. Sorry.
So then also finds out that, so he's a mechanical engineer. He didn't find that out. He finds out that his company he works for is a company that worked they have like the blueprints of the prison. They have the whole layout. And so Michael Schofield figures out a way to get locked up and to break his brother out of prison. And so the entire first season is Michael Schofield in prison with his brother. The entire second season is after they broke out, and then they're on the run, on the lam from federal agents. And then they get to Panama, and the entire third season he gets locked up in a Panamanian
That's right.
Panamanian prison. And then they introduce what's called the company. The company has an agent of their own in this Panamanian prison that they are now like, okay, Michael, you have to break him out. So now they have another prison break
So they,
in the
like,
third season.
Fabricated a really ridiculous way to make more Prison Break happen.
And then, yes.
What
and
happens
then
in the movie?
So then in the fourth season, after he breaks out of the Panamanian
Guantanamo
prison,
Bay.
the fourth season is this Homeland Security agent hires Michael and his brother and all the other people that have been with him throughout the entirety of the show. Then they're taking down the company, and they have this like, it's like a hard drive of all the stuff that the company, like their little black book is what they called it, but it's called Scylla. And they have to steal Scylla. So then finally they steal it, and then they get it stolen back. Then they steal it again, then they steal it. It's a lot of back and forth. Find out that Michael Schofield's mom's been alive this whole time, and she worked with the company. Now she's trying to bring down the company, but still
Wow.
tries to kill her son. And
What?
it's crazy back. Yeah.
Oh, this movie
Then-
sounds like they started with a novel concept for the first season and then ran out of ideas really fast.
There's a lot of funny YouTube content about what's wrong with this whole, but it's once you're invested into like the first season, you got to finish the series. So then it ends with the fourth season. They get the Scylla, they give it to this guy that everyone thought was dead in the first season, but it turns out he works for a company that was trying to bring down both the other companies.
Wow.
And now he becomes a congressman. Everyone's exonerated. And then you see everyone that was on his team that stole Scylla was exonerated of everything. So they're all free to go and they can do whatever they want. Then you see the cut to 4 years later. Then it's the 4 years later. You're like, what else can you possibly do with this? 4 years later, then I'm gonna spoiler.
You shut your mouth. I'm gonna watch it.
After the 4 years later, you see everyone, his girlfriend, his brother, and all the rest of the people that helped him steal Scylla for all 4 seasons. They meet up at Michael Scofield's grave.
Oh my God. He's not dead, I bet, either.
So then the final break. Now we get to the movie.
Wait, that was
So the final break.
The final break.
The final break. It goes back to before.
Welcome
the 4
back
years
to
later.
Prison Break, the podcast.
It goes
moved
back
on
to
to the movie.
So the movie starts out before the 4 years later. It has Michael Scofield and his girlfriend. They're getting married, and at the reception after the wedding, federal agents come up and they arrest Michael Scofield's wife.
What?
Because she killed Michael Scofield's mom at the end of the 4th season.
But she was exonerated for everything she did.
But not for killing, because they had a video of her killing, regardless of
it
whether
had
it was
to be a
self-defense.
fake video, right?
This
it's
better
not
get
real.
a solid yellow light at best.
So then,
absurd.
so
you're really
then-
selling me on this show right now.
So now the final break is Michael Scofield breaking his wife out of prison in Miami. In Florida.
Oh my God.
That's where the entire 4th season took place, was in Florida.
This
and LA. Florida and LA.
12 minutes has been painful. I
I'm
cannot
not gonna lie, I've
imagine
been on the edge of my
sitting
seat.
through this whole
yeah.
show.
So the final break is Michael Scofield, and then at the end of the movie, you actually find out how Michael Scofield died. At the end of the movie.
Oh, so he did actually die.
So it came down to either he escapes with, or his wife escapes, and he's like, "No, you go on. I did what I needed to do."
Cliched, cute and cutely shade. What is?
But let me guess, season 5, he's back to life, right?
Season 5, I haven't gotten that far in the season, but
true.
yes, I've seen clips.
This is movie
screen
toast, not Prison Break waffles.
I am going to be watching the 5th and final season of Prison Break.
I can't wait. Can you please review that, because I need to hear about this.
If you guys
I don't
let
want
me,
to
it's
watch
not a
this
movie.
film.
But
I don't
anyways,
give a fuck.
So I give the movie these are the qualifiers and the stipulations for this light. If you watched the series of Prison Break, then the final break is a must. Green light.
What
if you have never seen a single episode of Prison Break and you just come across and you're like, "Oh, Prison Break, the final break. This looks cool. 2009. Oh, it's got a lot of good actors in it. I think I'm going to check this out." No.
Well, there goes my Monday night.
Red light.
Yeah,
Wow,
it was
so,
going to
hey,
be
guys.
a red light for me. I could tell from your description.
This was a great episode. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk next week. It was a pleasure seeing you guys.
And I'm not even going to go into tidbits. There's 2 tidbits. You can look them up on IMDb.
I don't
They're
got
not
time
even
for that.
worth mentioning for this. They're both stinkers.
Here's a tidbit.
Stinkers.
Here's a tidbit. Tommy, your review made me never want to watch Prison Break ever.
Tommy,
I think I got
I am
Adam.
a glutton
I think
for
I got
punishment.
Adam.
I am on board. I will
Yeah.
watch it with you.
It's
You watched
just-
Let's start a
24,
Prison Break
so
It's so
podcast.
bad. When this show came out, I was one of the people that would watch an episode and then have to wait a week for the next episode.
Oh, wow.
God,
you're a
I
TV
feel
watcher.
horrible
Wow,
for
you.
that's terrible.
Yep.
Did you
Just
watch
So this was
Sarcasm
great.
too?
This time I got to just
Go on
I just got to
demand?
watch episode after episode.
Can I,
after
Can I just say that I have to edit this episode, so I have
Yes.
to listen to that whole Prison Break
Oh, I can't wait. Corey, I love
fucking
you.
recap.
we're at
all
11 and a
over
half
again.
minutes on
You could just
Prison
cut
Break, by
to
the
if
way.
you saw the show, green light. If you didn't, red light.
Yeah,
Moving on.
I should cut it into 2 episodes and just have one of them be the standalone Prison Break.
I wasn't gonna go into
That
the
should be like a
the
bonus
series.
episode there.
I was not gonna go into the series, but Adam asked, and so. I
But
was
honestly,
totally-
all you had to say was they break in and out of prisons. That's all you had to say, Tommy.
Well, it
I'm
kind of helps that he says that
got it
there's like
all.
a fake government agency called the company.
that got
'cause
me
that
kind of
fucking
excited.
sucks. Anyway, sorry.
No, thank you, because I wouldn't know what you're
Oh.
talking about if you didn't say that.
All right.
Dennis, what did you see and what's it rated? And how
Oh.
fast can you get us away from Prison Break?
Oh, I might be able to get you away from Prison Break, but it's not going to
No.
be in fucking better quarters. I tell you
Oh,
right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, coming from a fan of the series that this movie is based on, I am reviewing Doom Annihilation. This is from 2019. It's a 96-minute flick that was recently, I don't know, a month or two ago, was posted on Netflix at the time of our recording. I am a fan of the video game series. I've played many of them. This is not that. I'm upfront. I will tell you right now, the fucking rock version of this movie is better.
Terry for the win.
The film tells the story of a group of UAC Marines who, because of one of the officers disobeying a direct order, the entire platoon gets tasked with guarding the Phobos base, a moon of Mars, where the UAC Corporation has a research facility, which is supposed to be the worst posting in the universe. Which I'm going to tell you right now, the like probably zero of you listening that actually read the Doom book, the novel that came out in the early 90s. This is the only reference to that book they want to make.
Thank God the one person who read the book is going to be able to get that insight.
What the fuck is going on tonight?
So if you read the book, this is going to be like the one reference that's going to be really familiar, because that's exactly
the one
what they
person
say
who read the book will get that then. Huh?
Yeah, me. I'm the one person who read the book that is also listening to this. I got to be honest. The whole movie just feels like it was someone had written the sci-fi action movie. They had figured out a cast. They had locations. They had a certain amount of budget for fucking post effects, and they're like, oh hey, I can afford the fucking rights to Doom. Why don't we just sling that into it? And they just went down the checklist of, how many Doom references can we just fucking shove up the ass to the script? And that is what this movie is.
How many references were
You'd
Just
be
the one
amazed
from the
how
book?
often that happens in Hollywood.
Maybe 6. And
Nice.
I was trying pretty hard, and they had some deep cuts. I'll give them. They tried. Like, for instance, one of the since the first Doom to come out in 94, one of the difficulty settings is called Ultra Nightmare.
Oh,
One
Still
of the
is
Marines,
on Doom Eternal.
Yes, it still currently is. It's been, I believe it's in all of the games. I'm not sure about Doom 64, but it has always been a difficulty setting. There is a character that comes charging around the corner to just fucking annihilate some zombies. Here's your Ultra Nightmare, bitch.
Ooh, that's painful.
Ouch.
The long-standing fans of the game will know that the inside joke of what the BFG 9000 is actually, the nickname for it. It's
Yeah.
the big gun.
Fucking gun.
But that's kind of the funny thing about the joke, right? Is you don't actually call it the big fucking gun.
Did
You
they?
just word for word, like I wish we could just pull up the clip.
Oh,
Hey,
character.
Sal, grab the
Oh.
big fucking gun. It's time to annihilate some
Almost.
aliens.
Almost. Oh, I've heard of this. This is the BFG 9000, but us UAC Marines call it the big fucking gun.
Oh
No.
Nerdy
I love this
scientist,
movie.
wait a minute, let me get a key, as he looks for a way to open the gun that is sealed behind glass, as badass Marine chick punches her fist through the glass to reveal.
What did they think that the
9000.
fans of the game were going to be watching this and going, "Oh, fuck, he referenced the BFG and he actually called it what it's supposed to be called." Oh my god!
I'm very glad you actually asked that very specific question, because as a fan of the games, this is an atrocious film. Like, it is almost an insult to the series in that you're trying to shoehorn these elements that are from the world of Doom into something that was clearly a different movie. Or if it wasn't, like, why did you bother calling it Doom? Maybe there should have been that point where it's like, maybe we should just make this a straight to Sci-Fi Channel shoot 'em up space zombie movie.
Don't they have a
That's
name
all
for
you ever
that?
got.
It's called like name recognition or property.
Yeah.
Let's call it.
It'd be nice if you went there to see the property and actually saw the property. The only things, and now including the things I've already mentioned, the alternate, or was it Ultraviolence, the BFG. There is a character, the platoon sergeant, or the platoon leader, because he's not a sergeant, because they're all just fucking crazy ranks, which that's a whole other thing that doesn't make sense. Their team leader has a double barrel shotgun, which is a reference to one of the weapons in the game that
Right.
barely makes an appearance and does not serve him really any purpose because he dies while trying to use it. And then the firing of the BFG 9000 is fucking terrible.
Oh no.
Oh, you do get an imp. You get one of the basic demons that throws like an energy ball thing at you in the game. That makes an appearance, but it is very obvious their only point of reference is like the original Doom game because they keep mimicking the same motion to do their attack to the main character.
It's funny that you talked about this movie today. This morning, I watched something that sounds more in tune with the game and more exciting than this movie. I watched the episode of Jablinski Games where Jack Black and his 2 kids played Doom Eternal, and I feel like I got more Dune out of that than what you watched in the movie.
You know what? That's going to be my official review. If you're considering watching this movie, go watch fucking JB's YouTube channel and watch him play the video game with his kids. That red glaring light. This is
Wow.
Dennis.
This was something Joyce
This
to
is
tear
a
apart.
sad day for me.
I was gonna make a joke about what the name should be called, but now I'm thinking about it. It was probably a way better name for the movie than just calling it Doom. It should have been Demons from Phobos. Wouldn't that have been a better name for
But
the
even-
movie?
It still
Close
sounds
enough
too
with it.
badass.
It still sounds like a Doom movie, but at least you're not calling it Doom anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there was a fun reference to, of course, John Carmack. They had to call out. There's a dead scientist. You take a key card. Oh, okay. Here we go. My favorite part of the movie: the props they made for the key cards, because those are iconic things in the games. So the red, blue, and yellow key cards look like they literally could have been in one of the games, like one of the more recent games. They looked excellent.
Oh, okay.
Guns look like garbage. The guns look like children put them together. But the key cards looked fucking cool.
So Dennis, you said it's a red light. I mean, Hey,
Red.
Adam, can you get us into some green territory?
Ooh.
Tommy, you have any tidbits, bud, before I do that?
I keep forgetting about the tidbits. I've
It's
done it
really
twice,
funny.
and I don't
Dennis, you named off all 3 of the tidbit just
Oh
from
my
your
God.
own. You didn't even see them, but
That's-
you
no,
I
named
didn't
them.
look
So
them up.
I
That's
have
funny.
a couple others. So going with you said that I'm your ultra nightmare, that one of the Marines says, being a reference to the difficulty. There's another reference to the easiest
Oh.
difficulty setting, and it's called "I'm Too Young to Die."
Too Young
So
to
apparently
Die,
that's
yep.
referenced during the first firefight.
Yeah, that
Um,
guy's kind of a bitch. There's literally a character that runs away. Like every time a big firefight kicks off, he just fucking runs away. And he's supposed to be one of these badass Marines. Sorry. I just
No, that's great. So the other one, okay, this one's the top one. This one's a good one. 58 of 59 people found it interesting, so hopefully you do as well. According to the official Doom video game Twitter account, the video game series creators, quote, were not involved with the making of this movie.
Oh yeah, that's apparent.
End quote. But in several interviews, the director confirmed this, but added that Bethesda and ID Software or id Software, I don't know if it's ID or id,
Well, either way, you're
were
good.
asked to be involved in the production, even prior to a script being completed. There's a red flag right there, ladies and gentlemen. They were asked to contribute to the story, script, casting, and demon designs. They declined and wished the production good luck.
Oh,
I'll leave it at
boy.
that one.
Oh,
I'll leave it
They
at that.
fucking learned their lesson
Yeah.
from the last time they tried to make a Doom movie. Okay.
So that's
you-
Wow.
those are your Tommy's tidbits for.
You know what? I will extend one further. I'm gonna put out a fucking a Dennis theory. A fucking
Ooh.
where it is not anything confirmed, but based on the fact that this is a video game movie, the main character, her name is Joan Dark. Immediately, it was just sounded like they're trying to reference the game Perfect Dark, whose main character is named Joanna Dark. And I'm like, really? I know this game too, so we're just gonna fucking jam this up its asshole.
Did she have red
also?
hair
That's great.
like Joan?
No, I wish
Oh.
she did. That would have been amazing. But
This sounds like it was made by some fanboys with like not a lot of writing credentials. Anyway,
I think I wish it was. I wish that was the circumstance. It sounds like it was. It wasn't.
hey Adam,
Hey, what's up?
hey, Did you watch something that's not a steaming pile of trash this week?
Yeah. It's funny that you asked me that because I also, like Tommy, watched a made-for-TV movie which is based on a television series. I watched Burn Notice: The Rise of Sam Axe. So
please tell me about seasons 1 through 11, and then go into the movie.
There's this guy named Michael.
Adam, knock it off.
Guy, and so he got burned, and he had to go to Miami.
This episode is already going to be going way longer than. Oh my god!
This movie is about the cool character named Sam Axe, who is played by Groovy Bruce. No, I'm fucking with you guys. It's a good movie. Check out Burn Notice. It used to be on USA Networks. I watched a brand new movie from 2020 on Netflix, a new Spike Lee joint called Da 5 Bloods.
I don't believe you.
Sweet.
So this is a movie about these 4 war veterans from Vietnam who decide to go back to Vietnam for 2 purposes. So the first purpose is they were in a group of men known as the 5 Bloods. And one of them, unfortunately, died while they were over there serving. And they had to bury his body. So they want to go back now, many years later, they're elderly gentlemen now, to get his body and bring it back to his family to do the right thing. But they also want to go back because they happen to shot down a helicopter that had Vietnamese people in it. And there was a fuckload. There was like $37 million worth of gold that they also buried near their friend. So, as you can tell, things get sticky here. Oh boy! And one of the 4 gentlemen, their son decides to come along with them, and there's some tension between the father and son. But so pretty much this is it's a weird movie because they jump back and forth between time. Like there's flashbacks of like what happened when they were at Vietnam as army guys, and then as going back, seeing what Vietnam's like now, and then when they're in the jungle again. But it's weird. Some of the flashbacks are these elderly gentlemen as themselves, which is kind of odd.
Oh.
Yeah. But it works. It works. This movie was good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, this movie was 2 hours and 37 minutes, I think. And I feel like if this movie was trimmed down, if this movie was trimmed down to maybe an hour and 45 minutes, it could have been done a lot quicker, and you could have cut a little bit of the fat that wasn't fully necessary. But it was pretty fun. It was action-packed. You can see where some things are going. You can't see where other things are going. And it had really great performances from these gentlemen performing in the movie. And you could tell that there was like this good bond that was built between these guys on set, and it really came off in the movie itself. So I'd say, sorry.
No, you continue.
So I'd say Da 5 Bloods, directed by Spike Lee. I'd say it's a green light. If you're a fan of Spike Lee movies, if you're a fan of war movies, if you're a fan of redemption movies, check it out. It's on Netflix. So pretty much everyone has Netflix. It's almost free for you.
Yeah, I was curious about what you thought it compared to other Spike Lee films. You know, that for something that seems to be very action oriented, and when I look at the trailer, gives me the reminiscent ideas of an action movie, or at least those elements. How does it compare to then that's something very topical and?
Well, no, I mean, yeah. I'm going to level with you. I haven't seen a whole bunch of Spike Lee movies, to be honest. Okay. So I'm going to sound. I will say I've seen his more recent stuff, but not his early classic stuff that people love. But this movie came out at a perfect time, like, because they touch base upon like race issues in America in this movie. So it's spot on, perfect timing to be released right now. The action is great.
How does this hold up to Black Klansman?
Oh, that's the biggest question I've been thinking. I really liked Black Klansman a lot more because it was more of a period piece, and it was more, to me, it felt like a blaxploitation movie. But that's, to me, I think I've said in the past, I'm not a fan of war movies. But this is not really a war movie. This is more of like 4 guys coming back and seeing all that happen as they come back, a place that they had hostility towards. And that's the best part of the movie to me. And seeing these old guys kick ass, like, you expect, these guys can't do shit. And they do have their limitations, but like I said, it just dragged a bit for me. So I'm downgrading this to a yellow light. I like it, but if it was a little shorter, I'd give it the green light. But I will say Black Klansman for me was the best of the 2, but this movie's really good, so I'd check it out.
Have you guys noticed, this is a kind of off subject, but And since we've been stuck at home for this time, all these long movies, watching them at home was always more difficult than watching them in theaters to me. And I think it's becoming more difficult. Is anyone else having that similar experience?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I used to go to the theater and watch long movies and say, "Oh, that's nice. I got out of the house. I got out of my own head." But now I'm still in my head. I have more distractions. I can use my cell phone, my laptop. I can pause it. I can go do
Yeah.
this or that. And here, I'm like, when the fuck is this movie ending? I want to go do something else or watch
And
something else.
It also makes movies seem longer than they really are.
Mhm.
For example, the
yeah.
final break was an hour and a half, and I felt like it was over 2 hours long.
I think a part of that is when you're in the movie theater, the experience is so engrossing, the sound, the image being so large in front of you, and then
The
it just kind of
environment with everyone
consumes.
else.
Yeah, for me, not so much that, but just how much what you're trying to enjoy is trying to give you. It is so much bigger, and it's like you're saying, there's fewer distractions. I'm not going to be checking my phone. I'm not going to be doing that other stuff. Like in a movie theater, I'm trying not to go to the bathroom, whereas at home, I'll just pause it, and it's easy to make that decision to stop something.
Yeah.
And that right there is why with my red light, green light system I developed, some movies that aren't good movies should still be seen in theaters because you're still getting the experience. But some really bad, and vice versa. Yeah,
and I think that gets brought up though. Still, Tommy, I think that's a part of. We try to make that like. I'll tell you right now, Doom in theater. That Doom movie I watched would not be any better in a theater. I would give you a red light still.
I say seeing this movie would have been great in theaters. This would have been a perfect movie to see.
Interesting.
So then it would get a green light then.
Nope. I stick by the
But the
quality
timing
and
for you.
everything.
It never changes the
Red
light
light,
color.
green light is different for me than it is for you, Tommy. I will fight you till the death on this.
All right.
Well, fellas, I guess I'll wrap up tonight. I was trying to get a positive movie the whole time, and I have a bad one, so I was trying to hold off. But I saw Artemis Fowl on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, is
I
your
saw this
review
one
built
too.
into the name? Is it a fowl?
No, it's more like fowl, like bird.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on, Dennis. Yes, but also somebody wrote that into an actual article like you can't type in Artemis Fowl on the internet this weekend and not see the headlines about it, and most of them make that joke in the headline. It's like
Mine.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of Artemis Fowl on Disney minus, and I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Ooh. Anyway, this movie, Artemis Fowl, I watched it and I really wanted to like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was impossible, man. I was giving this thing till an hour and a half in to turn itself around, but
it did around the end, but not very much. Like I saw this movie too. When I saw this trailer in theaters, I said, "This movie they decide to put in the theaters. Why? It's going to be a disaster."
God.
And then watching it,
All right, so tell us what it's about.
Okay, dude, I'm going to try to tell you what it's about, and that's going to be the real challenge. So there's this kid, and his dad, his name is Artemis Fowl, and his name is Artemis Fowl too. And he's
Artemis Fowl the second or Artemis Fowl TOO?
No. He's
like
he's
junior and
senior.
senior.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell is the senior.
Best part of this movie.
That's the best part of this movie is the opening when they're like, Ireland's the most magical place on the planet, and Colin Farrell's there, and he's like, yeah, I'm Colin Farrell. That was like, then it just went all downhill from there. But this movie, so the dad, he disappears, and then oh god damn, man.
Oh no.
You're not wrong.
Here's what happened. I can't tell you. So there's a MacGuffin, and it's a glowing acorn, and it had a name, and I don't know what the name is.
The Orpheus, Oracle, something dumb.
Aside from the fact that every single player in this movie is chasing the golden acorn, I can't tell you really why. Artemis Fowl wants the golden acorn because he thinks he'll get his dad back in some roundabout ass backwards way. And then everyone else wants it. Now here's the real thing. This movie rips off from it, like every single movie that's come out in the last 10 years. Like, it has no stakes because everyone who dies comes back immediately afterwards, right after they're done playing the sad music. This movie takes place, that does the slowing down Silver Surfer thing from the X-Men movie, and the whole thing is just a joke. It takes place, it's like someone said, what if Middle Earth was literally the middle of our Earth, because in the middle of our Earth, a bunch of the Lord of the Rings creatures, goblins and dwarves and elves and fairies live down in the middle of the Earth, except they have all the technology from Star Trek, and they all are trying the whole interaction with them. Yeah, they're all the mythical creatures from Lord of the Rings in the middle of our real 2020 Earth, and they all have all this high-tech technology, most of it operating like, filmed like, and is utilized like modern J.J. Abrams Star Trek films.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis Fowl's character, everything involving him plays like a Mission Impossible James Bond, like spy thriller. Everything involving the fairies that are like secret agents plays like a superhero movie or like a Star Wars movie.
Can I jump in for a second? You're leaving out a very tasty nugget here. This movie isn't all happening at the same time. This movie is being told off camera in an interrogation, black and white, from fucking Josh Gad, dressed like Hagrid from Harry Potter, using this gruff voice, being like, "I'll tell you about Artemis Fowl."
Trying to suppress Olaf really hard.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my god!
It almost sounds like that movie Onward that we watched.
He's a dwarf, but he's normal sized, and the whole thing he wants is to be a normal small dwarf, and he wants the fairies to do that, but the fairies won't do it. Judi Dench is in this movie right after Cats. I don't know what she's thinking.
And her voice that she's doing in this movie is horrific.
Oh, everyone sounds like they smoke 12 packs of cigarettes a day in this movie.
Oh my god!
Josh Gad and her and somebody else was doing a deep voice. Oh, what about Josh Gad when he's a dwarf? They don't dig like dwarves do.
Oh no, that got me off guard so much.
Oh, can I say it, or are you gonna say it?
Yes, no, this is your review here, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This movie, they don't pick with pickaxes and like helmets like normal dwarves. He unhinges his jaw in this gross CG thing and then starts eating the dirt, which immediately comes out his ass. And
he's jumping up and down like a fucking
and this is a Disney movie?
This is a Disney movie.
And that's the issue.
Wow.
This movie does not feel like a Disney movie. And I watched it with my mom, and she's like, there's too much violence. And it's more like Disney's like, hey, man, we got to get on the fucking young adult novel train like everyone else. Let's get one.
Like 5 to 10 years too late.
This plays off,
Isn't this based on a very popular book?
They set off to make more movies, and I don't think it's ever happening.
Oh yeah, they don't even defeat the main bad guy at the end.
You don't even know who the main bad guy is.
Obviously a woman, because they put the 12 packs of cigarettes on it today.
Which I was thinking was a Judi Dench, but it doesn't add up.
They don't tell. He saves his dad at the end, Colin Farrell, and then the main person who had him captive the whole time and almost killed him is just like, "I'll get you next time, gadget," and then she just bangs out.
Whoa.
But then before the movie ends, Artemis Fowl and his dad are gonna go do something. He's like, I gotta go make a call first. And then you see him out on a balcony. We're coming for you. We're gonna get you. And it's like, they're like, who do you think you are? I'm a criminal mastermind. And the whole movie, I'm like, you're not a criminal mastermind. You're a fucking kid who's pompous and over fucking rated. He has an issue with everyone.
Didn't steal a single thing this whole movie.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're saying he's a criminal mastermind. Oh man, and fucking he didn't believe in fairies. His dad would always tell him about fairies and this and that, and tells him the same fucking nursery rhyme every time he leaves or goes to bed. And the boy stays up for 12 hours straight reading everything, and he knows everything about fucking fairies and pixies. Oh, fuck this movie, man.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm a nerd, like a D&D Magic the Gathering nerd, okay? You can tell when one of these fantasy films that has, I'm going to say it, fairies in it, if the movie refers to the plural form of a fairy as a fairies and not as a fae, you can tell it was written by jackasses who have no idea what they're doing. It's just like a dead giveaway. It's like the worst thing on the planet. Like you can't even like delve deep enough into the mythology to get the plural form of the thing right. It's just like disgusting. And the whole movie's bad, and it's a waste of time, and it's a CG thing. There's no soul to the movie. There's no story. It never stops the action long enough to develop a character sympathy. It's just run and gun. But
nothing happens really. They're just at that house most of the movie talking.
Yeah, one location, and then the butler guy. It's just
pointless. He really serves zero purpose here.
He dies,
and then he brings in his niece.
Yeah, he brings in his niece. Neither of them serve any purpose. He dies and then is immediately brought back. And I'm just like, there's no stakes to this movie.
That was
like,
the one point where I'm like, oh man, I feel bad. That guy died. Nope, he's back. Whatever. No worries.
Some of the points that you guys are making, I wonder if I'm really hoping at least that for fans of the novel that these are maybe references to things that happen in the book, and these are just like the script writers just trying to fucking jam everything in there and shoehorn all of the little noticeable things that fans of the novel should get. But as you're obviously stating, you can't just jam all of this stuff into a single movie.
That maybe that's what they're trying to do. I do feel like sometimes when book adaptations, they don't draw enough on the film, on the original source material. Films and books are different. So what happens in the books and what happens in the movies and where you choose to cut or keep or add, that's just determined by your own opinion, or, if you know what you're doing, the medium you're trying to tell your story through. But I feel like this movie tried to retain way too much from the book. Like what Adam said with Josh Gad doing the narration. He comes in and does narration like all the time. There's already way too much exposition and dialogue and like all the rules of the universe are like told while they're running and shooting.
We're seeing every single thing that he's saying.
There's a time lock thing and they broke the time lock thing. How can it break the time lock thing? Because of this rule, because of that. You can't say that because fairies can't enter your house unless you invite them.
But I can invite you.
But
we tricked you.
It's just like, oh my gosh. It's like,
it kind of makes sense why the movie's been in development since 2001.
Can I say why I think this might have happened?
Adam, tell us why you think the movie happened. Tommy, tidbit us, and then let's get the fuck out of here.
I am really sorry for hijacking your review, man. I
really wanted to spitball this with somebody because I watched it alone, and the whole time I was just in my house, totally by myself, being like, why?
Yeah. Like, I didn't want to watch this movie, but I said, fuck it. It's for the podcast, for fans who need to know whether they should waste their time on this. That's what we're here for, to watch shit that you don't want to see. I have an issue here. The director is Kenneth Branagh. I feel like all his movies are pretentious, overworked pieces of garbage.
No,
most of them, at least.
He did Finding
Nemo.
He did Finding Nemo? I did not know that.
With the exception of Finding Nemo.
I feel like Thor, kind of lackluster. Murder on Orient Express, hit or miss. But this, I felt like he was trying something different. He normally does like more Shakespearean style, more like upscale type of stuff. And he's like, I want to do something fun and upbeat. And he just shot for the moon, and he overshot.
How dare you talk bad about Professor Lockhart?
That's my opinion, guys. Sorry.
I just want to make sure, Tommy, before you give us the tidbits, I just want to confirm that he did direct Finding Nemo, right?
I'm looking right now.
Back into IMDb.
Director.
No, that's weird, but
no, he
might have voiced someone on that.
Get out of here.
He was
like Bruce
so Artemis Fowl, Murder on the Orient Express, Cinderella, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, Thor, Magic Flute, Hamlet, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I don't see any
everything
Nemo.
I said here. Doesn't that sound like a resume of all like period piece movies? And he's like, I'm breaking out. I'm going to show them I can do what I need to do. I can do anything.
No, he didn't.
And then he does a fantasy fucking.
I'm gonna edit out the Finding Nemo thing I said. He had nothing to do with Finding Nemo.
Nothing to do with
I don't
Nemo.
even know where I found that.
Yeah. Maybe he acted in it?
He could have.
When did Nemo come out?
2004?
No. He wasn't even.
Dude has zero ties to Finding Nemo.
Thanks.
Hey, no, man, keep it in, man. It's humanizing, dude.
He played himself in Finding Nemo.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Tommy made that one up.
That was a tidbit.
Tommy's made up tidbit.
Oh, hey, Kenneth Branagh tidbit right here. Kenneth Branagh played Kenneth Branagh in Finding Nemo.
Sitting in the waiting room at the dentist's office.
I'm going to add that into his trivia on IMDb. See how long it goes up.
Wikipedia it.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Did I find where fuck, man.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. It happens all the time, Corey.
I'm looking through the entire cast.
Damn,
and
Corey. Adam just called you a bitch.
Hey, I do it all the time. I say this and that, dude. I fucking do it.
Let's
Oh, I
see.
almost
We all
passed
do
out.
it.
Adam, I almost passed out for laughing.
Finding Nemo has nothing to do with this movie in any way.
None.
I just
none.
You
looked
were
at the-
so sure of yourself.
I was
too. Like,
so
he
sure.
did Finding Nemo.
Dude,
I'm going to
okay,
find
Corey,
Nemo right
Corey,
now.
not-
I'm gonna
not
figure
gonna
out
lie.
where the fuck.
Maybe
this
he
came
did
out
like
from.
Hey.
Captain Nemo or something.
Corey, not gonna lie, when you explain, I said this earlier, but no one heard it. When you were talking about what this movie is about, it sounded like they took stuff from the Disney's Onward about finding his dad, and he needed an object, which in Onward was the staff, right, to find his missing dad.
In ways, but it's
Well, it wasn't
completely
missing,
different in
but-
my opinion.
Okay, it sounded like it.
But
to me.
it has similarities. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong there.
Oh
All
my
right, well,
god!
you're
I
looking it up-
figured out the connection.
Uh-oh.
I figured it out, fellas.
Okay, what's
It's
the connection?
tangential.
Hey, it
It's
is.
majorly tangential. So
Let's look at the
I
qualifiers,
watched-
though.
I watched Artemis Fowl, and then about 5 minutes later, to try to wash it out of my brain, I made a horrible mistake, and then watched John Carter, which I'll talk about next time. But the director of
Oh.
John Carter is Andrew Stanton, and he is the guy that had something to do with Finding Nemo.
Not directed
Oh.
or anything, but he had something
Andrew,
to do with.
it was just no. He
He was the PA on the set.
he did. He directed Finding Nemo. Andrew
Okay,
Stanton
okay.
directed Finding Nemo, and he did John Carter. And I happened to watch John Carter right after I watched Artemis Fowl. And looking at all the credits and everything, I just got them confused in my brain.
Kenneth Branagh got the coffee for the director of Finding Nemo.
No, Kevin Branagh has nothing to do with Finding Nemo. Listen to Adam. Don't listen to me.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens.
I'll
Hey,
give
man,
you
you
one.
got any tasty tidbits?
So yeah.
Or are we just calling it, man?
No. So this is just to add to everything else that was just being said. The original producer of Artemis Fowl, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, stinker.
Oh my god. So Disney
he's a
removed
stinker, not
Weinstein
bad.
as the producer and terminated its production partnership with the Weinstein Company. That might have something to do with how long the
No,
film's been in
no.
development since 2001.
Because it's a hard nut to crack, and they did not crack it properly.
The writer of the
Clearly.
novel, his name, I can't pronounce it, Eoin Colfer.
Sure.
E-O-I-N. How would
It's
you
an
pronounce
Irish
that?
name, dude. It's hard. Hey, guys
Aylin?
in Ireland, everyone. We have big Irish fucking fan base here. Get at us. Let us know what you thought about
I wasn't
this.
done with the tidbit.
I know. I'm
The-
sorry.
This
that
movie has
author,
nothing to do with
He
Ireland.
jokingly, because the movie was in development since 2001, he jokingly stated that the movie would be finished 2 years after the guy died. But the guy's still alive, so.
And he wishes he was dead after watching this movie.
Oh, and last one. The movie rights were sold for Artemis Fowl were sold to Disney before the first book was even published.
Yeah, they
But
were trying to
Disney's
jump
like,
on. Yep.
Yeah.
When
We
was the
want that.
first book published?
Probably like 98. I
Probably
bet.
after 2001, because the film was in development since 2001.
Wow. Okay.
Huh.
So I'd have to say the book came out sometime after 2001. Yeah,
We
that's
don't
your
know.
tidbits for this movie.
This ain't book Pop Tarts. Let's get anyway.
Book.
So, and this is on Disney minus.
Disney minus.
Yeah. So if you have kids, listeners out there, if you have kids and they're being punished and you want them to go away for a while, go send them to their room, put on Disney minus, and make them watch this movie.
Don't sit your kids in front of this movie unless you want them to come back dumber. Be bad
Artemis
parenting.
Fowl. Oh, and before the boy has to go to do all this work he's doing, he's
Oh
like,
God, here it
I
goes.
need to wear the suit. He goes from wearing regular clothes to wearing a fucking Men in Black style suit. I'm like, fuck you.
Oh yeah, dude, the fairies. Remember that fucking bullshit where the troll comes out into the real world and then the fairies go in Men in Black? Everybody.
Yep.
They
uh-huh.
like made everyone forget with the little
As they were
laser,
attacking
the
the
eyeballs
wedding.
thing. As they
That
were,
was terrible.
that was so stupid. I told you this movie. You could go through this movie and it rips off every movie made in the last 10 years at least once, and it has no original thoughts whatsoever.
Corey, we didn't give our light on this one. What is this? Is this a green light from you?
Oh yeah, totally. It's a green light. Go
Okay.
watch it. So green.
So
So it's green like Ireland.
Uh,
Let's go
As-
watch
as-
it.
as green as a fire truck, huh? Yeah.
As green as a fire truck, as green
Uh.
as my diarrhea.
Guys, if you want to watch something green, go and watch Shrek.
Adam.
Oh, Shrekcast this Wednesday.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to heavily edit this to get rid of my stupid bullshit and the long time, and I'll probably break off and put.
But we're having a
Prison
lot
Break.
of fun doing this.
I'll put
Yeah,
Prison
he's probably
Break in
gonna
its own
cut out-
episode.
Oh my goodness. No, you're gonna cut out like at least 5 minutes of my review.
At least 5 minutes.
At least.
Try
At
15.
least. Anyway,
Should we do a proper outro?
we should let everyone leave and get on with their lives. Don't watch any of the movies we watched this week.
No, watch Defy Bloods. I'm moving it up to
Oh.
green light, guys.
Oh.
I had to save this episode.
We've
Okay.
never-
Yeah,
we've-
there's
I
still
don't think
movies.
we've had a full red light
Yeah.
episode yet.
No,
No.
Defy Bloods wasn't a red though.
It was a yellow.
I am very much on board with that one. You've solidified my interest, if anything.
Gotcha.
Hey, if you guys want to find us on any social media, we're on Reddit, Discord, fucking Facebook. You get at us on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. And if you're someone who knows Brad, let us know what's going on with them. Hashtag bad Brad, whatever.
No,
whatever you wanna talk
hashtag
about.
bring Brad back. Oh,
You can't even say the hashtag.
Hashtag bring Brad back. There you go.
Just something with
Oh.
Brad in it. We want to know Brad's safe.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let's say goodbye and good night and get fucked and all that shit. Let's go.
Goodbye and good night. Get fucked.
Goodbye now. Tell
I'm back to
or
work.
at least tell him to stay toasty.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
I'll cut it somewhere in the middle of that.
Like, okay, there's certain part, like when it's very action packed, but whenever there's a scene, where the protagonists are being chased by the company or another federal agent or any type of antagonist in the show, the music in the background dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go.
Goodbye and good night. Get fucked.
Goodbye now.